Assalamualaikum. Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, Dr. Waalaikumsalam.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think we can start the session for today. We have 64 attendees at the moment. And this online session is about the first SDP seminar, and it will be conducted by Dr. TS Dr. Wahid Abdul Jabbar, the SDP coordinator for FTKEE. For your information, this month, as have been forwarded by the head of programs as well as in the SDP groups, the faculty actually wants to help all the students who taking senior design project for year 2021. Either you are taking SDP 1 or SDP 2 in semester 1 2021-2022 academic year. So if you have a friend or you know that someone's going to take SDP 1 next semester, please ask them to join all the seminars if you could. And we want, the faculty wants to help you to perform, to make sure. Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, my network was lost just now. Okay.
Yeah, we could hear. Yeah.
Okay. So please ask your friends who are actually not taking SDP 1 last semester, but going to take SDP 1 for the next semester 1. Please ask them to join this session. As you can see, the session is actually recording, and we try to post the video, this session, the recording session, on the SDP website. So any information, any announcement, please refer to the SDP website. You can find the link on the faculty website, and all the information on the seminars will be posted there, as well as will be forwarded to you via a WhatsApp group as well. So for today, for this week, we have the first seminar, a talk by Dr. Wahid, how you can perform in SDP2 for those who are taking SDP2 next semester, and also for those who are going to take SDP1 next semester. So we want to explain to you what is this SDP is all about, and how actually it's different with final year project from the other faculties or departments. Okay, so I want to pass to Dr. Wahid to proceed with the seminar. And if you have any questions on any part of the seminar today, please do not hesitate to put your questions or your comments on the chat box. I will read it once a while, and perhaps at the end of the session, we will have the question and answer as well. You can unmute your mic and you can ask directly to Dr. Wahid, and I will be here as well to help you to understand what is SDP is all about for today's session. So I pass to you, Dr. Wahid, for today's online session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rusha. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. You hear me or not? Again, you see the slide or not?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so today we are going to start with the first SDB seminar for the year 2021. And the title is Senior Design Project as Final Year Project Course, What We Aim to Achieve. Actually, the SDB committee suggests to conduct several seminar for this year. For the targeted are students for SDB1 and SDB2, and those who for the course in the future. I mean, for students who are in the 5th semester now or in the 4th semester, so they can join the sessions for the 5 seminars that we are going to conduct. And this is the first seminar, actually, which is for today, for about what we aim to achieve from SDB. We are going to talk about some related term to SDB evaluation, what we expect at the end of each course, SDB1 or SDB2, and so on. So the second seminar will be thesis report writing using Microsoft Word. It will be conducted next week on Tuesday, 17 August by Haji Dr. Shafi'i Bakar. And it will be like long session because it will consist from, it will focus more on the formatting and using Microsoft Word to write either the thesis or the technical report. Actually, for your SDB1 and SDB2, you need to use UMB template. You need to use to write. You need to, or you have to write your own thesis. You have to write also technical report for SDB1 and SDB2. The third seminar will be about the management of reference management using Mendeley. Actually, there are some tools you need to use to manage your references while you write your thesis. And one of these tools is Mendeley. So it will be conducted by one Afida Abubakar on 20 August from 10 to 12:30 p.m. The fourth and fifth seminar will be conducted by industrial lecturer. And the fourth one will be webinar on project management, and it will focus more on the project management from industrial perspective. So it will be on 24th August 2021 from 10 to 12:30. And the name of speaker will be announced later. The last seminar will be also by industrial speaker about the latest technology using IoT-based projects. So since most of our project is more related to automation, Internet of Things, and so on, so this talk will help a lot of students. To understand what are the latest technology that we can use for Internet of Things based project and so on. This will be on 27th August from 10 to 12:30. I hope all SDB students, either SDB1 or SDB2, also other students in engineering technology program, either from BTE, BTW, or BTS, to join all these sessions and seminars and to participate, to understand, because all are important for you to proceed for your SDB courses and to pass these courses successfully. So for today, actually, which is the senior design project as a final year project, what we aim to achieve, our outlines will focus on several items related to senior design project. So in the beginning, we are going to talk about what is SDB and why SDB. We are going to talk about the definitions, outcomes, different between SDB and other final year project. Then we are going to see what is the difference between SDB1 and SDB2 in terms of scope, responsibilities, framework, and milestones. After that, we are going to talk about the SDB requirement, either for SDB1 and SDB2, and what you need to do in order to success or in order to pass these two courses in engineering technology program. Then we are going to highlight some about assessment, even though you already know how the assessment for SDB1, for those who already passed SDB in the previous semester. Also, we are going to highlight about the SDB2, the assessment for SDB2 and the evaluation method for SDB2. Then we are going to talk about the expected achievements from senior design project. What we aim to achieve at the end of SDB2. Since senior design projects start with SDB1, SDB2 for the whole year, what we want to get from you, either in terms of the product, a prototype, research grant, IP and publication, and so on. Then what are the benefits from student, the benefits from SDB for students, for supervisor, and also for UMP as well. Okay, please, if anytime if you don't hear my voice, please just let me know, because I know I'm in the office. I don't know, sometimes the connection for Wi-Fi is not that good. Okay, so we start with the course outcome. This is the course outcome for our senior design project course. Actually, for SDB1 and SDB2, we have 6 COs. So for CO1, it's the ability to identify problem and determine the path for solution, ability to interact with supervisor to discuss project details, ability to function on design team, ability to apply ethics and quality concept to design tasks, ability to apply engineering economy concept and social issues to design tasks, understanding of research in project development and component determination. So at the end of each course, either SDB1 or SDB2, you have to achieve all of these course outcome, which will be reflected in the program outcome for each program that you belong to, either BTE or BTW or BTS. Okay, what is SDB and why SDB? So before we talk about the definition of SDB or of senior design project, we want to know who should register for this course and who should register for this course. Actually, all final year students in at engineering technology faculty, not only FKE, also other engineering technology faculty like manufacturing, mechanical, civil, chemical, all the engineering technology faculties, the final year students are required to register for this course, engineering technology senior design project courses, which include SDB1 and SDB2. And usually the student in semester 3 semester 6, year 3, semester 6, have to register for SDB1, and year 3, semester 7, they have to register for SDB2. But some students who have some credit exemption, or they finish their courses earlier, so they can register for SDB1 during the semester 5 actually. But it depends on what are the course that you already finish in order to go for SDB1. So it's not allowed to go directly to SDB without finishing the prerequisite courses for senior design project. So actually SDB courses here, or senior design project courses, act as a platform for students to perform academic research. So it's the first step for undergraduate student to perform research. And also the development under the supervision of an appointed supervisor from the faculty. So maybe before you start your senior design project, you have some small project for courses. For every course, you have some small project you need to finish, so to get some mark of assessment. But for senior design project here, it's not in the form of just finishing a small project. You have to conduct a real scientific research. So you have to learn some tools, or you have to know some tools and some skills that you need to perform during studying your course in order to develop your project, and at the end also to write your thesis. But in other courses, when you have a project for assessment, so you don't need to write thesis, you just need to develop. So for example, you have to conduct a project, then you write a report, 5-page, 6-page report, and you submit. But for senior design project, you have to complete a project from zero to the end. Then at the end, you need to report your findings. So please, avoid the misunderstanding of senior design project. Don't expect that SDB is like your course project. Okay, so why we need senior design project here for engineering technology student? Actually, since our engineering technology student focus more on the hands-on skills, and they have a lot of labs in their curriculum, and they have taken or registered for many courses which are lab-based. So it's it is the time to apply these skills. It is the time to apply this knowledge, actually, that you learned during your study, either under BT or BTS or BTW, in order to complete your senior design project in the form of a complete project that maybe it combines multiple courses. It's not just related to one course. Your senior design project will relate to multiple courses that you studied during your degree level. Also, it gives you the student regularly challenging real-world and immersive engineering experience. Since you are going to select, or the idea of your project, it's come to solve some of the either community problem or industrial problem. So, I mean, your supervisor, when they suggest their project, they suggest the title for you based on some of the research that they already conduct. They know that there is a problem in this field, there is a problem in the community related to this issue, there is some issue related to industry. So they propose it as an idea for your senior design project, and you as a team, you are going to solve this issue by developing or conducting your research on this title. Actually, like the SDB is different with the other final year project, either the BSM or BSAD or other FYP projects in other faculties. The main part or the main difference with this project, most of the other project, final year project, are individual based. So I mean, they are not group based. So individual based means each student has his own title, has his own project to complete. You are one when there is one student to complete one task, so his scope will be limited. Either he focus on hardware, or focus on software, or focus on modeling, some simulation part, and so on, so he can finish his final year project or PSA. For BSAD or for diploma student, they have some form of capstone project, which focus also in the development of some prototyping, but also the number of students are limited. I mean, they are in group of two, usually group of two, but also the scope of the project is limited. Also, the skills and knowledge of diploma student maybe is less than the skills and knowledge that you already gained during your degree. Since they're only study for 2 years, you study for 4 years. So their project also also are not multidisciplinary. Your project are multidisciplinary. That means for our senior design project, we used to have a combination from different programs. So for example, in FTKE now, we have students from BTE, we have students from BTS, we have students from BTW. So the student from different perspective of from different field of knowledge, even though all under electrical and electronic engineering, but some of them, for example, they are more, or they have more skills in software development from BTS. Others, they have more skills in wiring, installation, and so on, testing from electrical program. Others, they have more skills on heavy machine or electrical machine, power system, and so on from BTW. So we try to combine, or the SDB try to combine students from different or from multidisciplinary to develop one project which have which require different skills from different students in the programs of FTKE here. So this the second part here, which is the main difference between the for the final year project or PSM, the focus will be more on the writing of thesis. I mean, the prototype is not that important. Maybe they do some simulation and they come out with their thesis, and that's all. So this will be their focus more on for writing thesis at the end. For you as as engineering technology student, the focus will be more. I mean, your focus will be consists from two parts. One in developing prototype or product. The second will be the writing. For capstone project, the focus on project only, on prototype. Writing, they can write just a small report. I mean, maybe a report of 20, 30 pages, and then it's just to report the finding of the capstone project. But for SDB, you have to develop your project prototype, and also you need to write your thesis, your prototype, like capstone project, and your thesis like final year student project or PSM project. So, I mean, your task will become bigger and your scope will become wider, and also you will, your number in a group will be also bigger, because for SDB, the minimum number is 2 students, the maximum is up to 4 students. So I know we have many groups that they have 2 students, but also we have some groups who are 3 students per group. And if we have more students, maybe we are going, and the scope of the project is bigger, we may go for 4 students per group. Okay, how SDB starts actually. From the student side, a student have to register for all courses that he has in his curriculum. Okay, starting from for first semester, second semester, third semester, for at least for the first 5 semester, you need to complete all the core courses that you have in your curriculum structure. Then after that, you if you finish the required number of credits in order to go for SDB here, we have our supervisor here or our academic staff in the faculty. They have their own ideas here. So the first, they propose project title. So at the beginning of each semester, we asked the supervisor here in the faculty to propose titles for SDB. So previously we used to have, we take some idea from student and then the supervisor proposed. But actually we find the, to make it more fair. So just to make all students, they have to follow their supervisor ideas. So the supervisor here propose idea or title for project to the SDB committee. Then we go for vetting process. So we select the more suitable titles for SDB project, and we ask supervisor to explain about their project, their idea, and their scope, and what are the students they require from BTE, from BTS, from BTW, how many students they are required, and so on. After that, we do the project distribution among our students. So we take how many projects do we have, how many students we have registered for SDB1, for example, then we distribute the student among supervisor randomly. Okay, so don't expect that you are going to be with your lovely classmate, for example. With one that you used to do assignment together, you do work. No, this when you do randomly with anyone, so that means we try to make you ready for the industrial lives, because after maybe 1-2 semester, when you go to industry, you are not going to select your partner. They will ask you, go to work under this supervisor, go to work with this partner. It's not like select, it's not like academic life, it's more related to industrial life. So we select who will be your supervisor, we select who will be your partner in the project. So you need to adopt yourself to work with anyone. Don't say, I don't like this guy is lazy, the guy is not working well, this guy is not understanding, and so on. Try to be or to work under any condition within your group, and you must complete your project successfully if you want to pass these courses for SDB1 and SDB2. We face many difficulties actually in this part. We know that there are some students who are not that active. There are some students who are somehow they depend on other students and so on. But we hope that other students, the good students, try to take the bad student to their side. Don't, if you have some students who are not active, don't be inactive like them. Don't leave the project. I don't want to present. I don't want to write. I don't want to complete the project, because this will affect both of you. We have some punishment for the student who were not performing well during SDB, and this you can see it clearly during SDB2. Actually, we have some students, we ask them to repeat the SDB alone. Maybe you are now in group, you have some people who help you. Maybe next time, if you fail to pass in your course, you will repeat this SDB alone next time. So for SDB1 here, for those who already finished the SDB1, they already know what is required from SDB1 or what are the outcomes of Senior Design Project 1. First is you need to have your research plan. You need to prepare or write your project proposal. You need to design or provide the design solution for your project for system. Also, you need to have to perform the procurement for your materials. I mean, at the end of SDB1, we ask you prepare the list of your materials that you need to buy. So after you for those who already finished SDB1 last semester, you supposed to already you buy the materials. I mean, I don't want you to wait until next semester start in September, then you come here. Who will buy? Me or my supervisor will buy the materials. Me or my friend or my classmate, group mate who will buy. I mean, just proceed. I mean, since you finish SDB1, go and you already confirm the list of material with your supervisor. Just buy the material, then you can claim the money that you buy. Don't worry. Every cent you spend on the material of senior design project, you will get it back to you. So, I mean, don't waste your time to waiting for your friend to buy or your supervisor to buy the material for SDB1. Then, during SDB2, actually, the one that you are going to start for this semester, so you are going more on, because you already have the proposal, you already have the materials, you already have the layout or architecture of your system. So, during SDB2, you are going to start for project fabrication, performance testing, then technical report writing, like in group, then also the thesis writing. So this is the main part or main outcome that is expected from your SDB2. So here we go for some details about the main content for SDB1 and also SDB2. So for SDB1 here, the first part will be, or the first thing you need to do here, you need to write your research background. So a research background here, you are required, since we said SDB is the first step to conduct academic research. It is the first step to become a researcher. So here you are required to, here it is the difference between when you as a student do a project for your course and when you are a student do project, do research for your SDB project. So you need to go for investigation process, you understand or to go deeper in your research project background. You need to highlight or identify the problem statement. You need to define your research objective. You need to define your research scope, and you need to understand how significant is your research. So this is the first step. When you get the idea from your supervisor or the title of your project from supervisor, you need to go for this thing to prepare for your during your SDB1. This will be like in the first 3-4 weeks of SDB1, you have to do it. Then you need to write your literature review in chapter 2 for your research proposal. So in literature review here, you need to conduct a detailed background, define research keyword for your title, define the research gap, compare the related study, come out with your solution and perspective based on the other work. I mean, after you conduct the comprehensive literature review for the similar project or similar product that you are going to develop during SDB2, you have to compare them and come out with their or highlight their advantage, their disadvantage, and what will be your project, or what is the benefit, or what are the advantages that you are going to propose in your project. Okay, so this we call it the literature review chapter. So for those who already done SDB1, they already know how to write the literature review part, which consists from two main parts, more part on the detailed background and the other part more on the related studies for your work and so on. The step 3 will be your research methodology. I mean, after discussion with your supervisor, after you come out with your objective, your problem, and so on, you already understand how you are going to achieve this objective. So in chapter 3 here, or research methodology chapter, you are going to write more details about your research activity, plans, materials that you are going to follow during your research. I mean, during your SDB1 and SDB2. So you are required to have your own research flowchart, research Gantt chart, list of material selection, prices, and so on. So all this will be your chapter 3 for SDP1. So I mean, for SDP1 here, at the end of SDP1, you are required to have your research proposal. So research proposal consists of 3 chapters. The first is the introduction, that include the research background, objective, problem statement, and so on. The second is your literature review. The third is your research methodology. And these 3 chapters actually will be the core for your thesis later on. I mean, when you will take the second seminar on writing the thesis and report, so you have to learn how to prepare from the beginning. You prepare your research proposal in the form of thesis. So it's easier for you during SDP2 to expand it into thesis, to add some information to chapter 3 or also add chapter 4 and 5. This for SDP1. For SDP2, actually, what you are going to do or what you are going to add in your during your SDP2 here, the one that you're supposed to have or you're supposed to already have during these 2 months in between SDP1 and SDP2. I mean, July, August. Before you start for SDP2, you have to go for your research methodology upgrade chapter 3. The chapter 3 that you present last time during proposal presentation, you have to upgrade it and include more research activities such as software, hardware development, fabrication, prototyping, testing, verification, practical implementation, and so on. All this will be top up during SDP2. You start from now until the end of SDP2, you still update chapter 3. I mean, don't say chapter 3 is almost, we already done it in SDP1, we are not going to touch in SDP2. No. Research methodology here will become more clear or more detailed or more specific during your SDP2. So you are going to update for research methodology chapter here. Next, you are going to have the chapter for result and discussion. For you are going to have your final product after you do the fabrication work, implementation, integration, and so on. So you will have the final product here. You are going to perform functionality testing, performance evaluation, effectiveness validation for your result and analysis. So this will be your chapter 4 or the part related to chapter 4 in your thesis later on. After that, you have the conclusion and future work, the goal, I mean, goal achievement. Have you successfully achieved your objective or not? What are the limitations of your project? What are the recommendations for future improvement and so on? At the end of SDP2, you should have 2 writing reports. One is the technical report and the second one is your thesis. Usually the technical report is in group. So you are going to present the technical report in group. And your thesis will become individual thesis based on your focus, based on your perspective, based on your background. If you are from BTS, so focus more on the software development, on the software part, computer part. Then if you are from BTW, focus on your machine part and so on. If you are from BTE, focus more on the installation part and wiring part and so on. So I mean, each student from each program should focus in his thesis on his main part that he conduct. I mean, because usually the supervisor will distribute the task based on the the background of student and so on. So this will help to differentiate between your output thesis at the end of SDP2. So if we distribute the task of SDP1 and SDP2. So I mean, SDP1 here, it starts with project idea from supervisor, and the student will take this idea or title with some general overview. Then also during SDP1, the student will come with timeline of their research activity, method, material, and so on. After that, we move directly to SDP2 for project fabrication, hardware installation, software integration. Then performance analysis also SDP2. I mean, you can see the more parts or the more portion of your senior design project course is on SDP2, because SDP2 actually is considered from include 6 credits, while SDP1 only 3 credits. So SDP2 is like double in terms of the number of credit and the impact on your CGPA later on. So you have more tasks you need to complete. For that, I told you, please try to use this 2 months in between SDP1 and SDP2 to to complete your SDB2 successfully. Then the last will be the final product here that you have to finalize the project and report your findings. So if we go for the details, what you are required to do for SDB1, I mean, what are the members for your SDB1 here is the design. I mean, in terms of the product that you are going or the project that you have, you at the end of SDB1, you only have the design of this project. So you have the design. You may have some of simulation result, some of students who, who perform well during SDB1. During SDB1, they already present some simulation result, some design layout, and so on. Some students, they still just have the proposal. So proposal alone, without design, without layout of the project, without the materials, it's not enough. So this from SDB1. For SDB2 here, to move from the design part to the development part here, you are going to have the hardware, which include like breadboard, sensors, actuator, machines, wiring, calibration of sensor, individual testing for each sensor, and so on. Whatever for we go for software, coding, libraries, API, GUI. This all part will related to the development part of your system. Then we go for fabrication. After you do development, that means you are going to do some testing. I mean, some of students now, they already have they already buy some materials. They already have breadboard at home. I mean, even they are not in UMB, they already started. So if you already started to do the testing, usually they use the breadboard. They test one sensor, for example. They test two sensors. They test one sensor with one actuator and controller, Arduino, Raspberry Pi. They start to do some of this testing. But all this on breadboard. Maybe later on they are going to combine all sensors or all actuators or all microcontrollers together. Then they come out with their project, which is implemented on a breadboard only. In order to transfer this project from breadboard into real implementation, they go for fabrication part. So fabrication part here, some they start to do some 3D printing, prototyping, enclosure design, and fabricate the system. If you have controller, you want to control some real machine, so you need to implement this controller on the real machine. So this all will be in the fabrication part of your project. Then you go for implementation here. After you already have your project, which is already ready, you do the fabrication part. You put all your materials inside the design system. Then you take it to implement in real environment. If you want to do, for example, water quality testing, so you take your system, you go for some nearest water area to do the water testing. If you want to do for drone testing, you take your drone, you go outside to do some testing on the drone. If you have robotics, so you do for robotic testing. I mean, depends on the nature of your project. So you are going to do some practical experiment. I mean, it's not enough to do lab experiment only. So you are required to do some of practical experiment in real environment, because we said senior design project is more related to industrial problem, related to community problem, and so on. So your project will solve some of the issue in the community, some of the issue in the industry. So you must test your project in real environment. Testing in the lab or testing on the breadboard is not enough. You must take your project further to do some practical testing in addition to the lab testing. And you need to do that demonstration for your test or for your project, it's working or not. Then you go for evaluation of the performance of your project. So you go more on data collection, result analysis, result validation. So part here, you are, for example, some students, for example, they develop energy meter. So and this energy meter has some sensor, for example, electrical sensor, voltage sensor, current sensor, and so on. So you need to validate these results. You need to. It's not enough just to have this sensor is read. Give me, for example, 3 ampere or give me 5 volt. It's not enough to have the reading from sensor only. You need to validate your result by using some real experiment. I mean, real instruments. Like you can take multimeter, you measure the voltage, you measure the current, it's okay, and if it's okay, so you say your results are accurate to confirm or to validate how your system is accurate, how your system is performed. I mean, your result from the system, if you show me the temperature only from the sensor, so you have to validate your result with other system or with other instrumentations. So I mean, this is all the details, things related to your design and development part of your project during SDB2 and SDB1 as well. So what are the requirements here for SDB in order to pass your course? I mean, what you as a student or as a registered SDB student, what you are required to do during in order to pass your SDB1 or SDB courses. So for the first here, for SDB1, as we said, you already need to have your proposals. So how we can evaluate your proposal here? You need to do presentation for your proposal in front of panel. So at the end of SDB1, each group must present their proposal to the panel. So the panel will evaluate their project, and also they can, I mean, they assess their performance during the presentation, and this will be part of their assessment for SDB1. The second main part is your proposal report. So these are the main two parts for your SDB1: proposal presentation and project report for your proposal for SDB1. So regarding SDB2, actually for SDB2, you need also to present your project in the form of poster at the end of SDB2. So at the end of this, the coming semester, at the end of the year, in December, you will be asked to present your project in the form of poster in front of panel from industry and also internal panel. The second main part for your SDB2 is the project prototype demonstration. So you are not required only to show the poster in the panel. You are required also to record the video or to show you if it's face to face. So you are required to show your project is performing, it's functioning well, and it's okay, it's working correctly. So you need to demonstrate the operation or the successful operation of your project in front of the panel. The third main part is to submit your extended report and thesis. So your technical report and thesis at the end of SDB2 will be the main part or required to submit during your SDB2. So there are two main parts for SDB1 and three main parts for SDB2. These are the main requirements for. In addition, there are some other requirements. We are going to show them during the assessment. Okay. Next is the assessment of SDB1. Since you already finished, some of you already finished SDB1 last time, so they know how we assess them during the SDB1 here. So for assessment of SDB1, actually for evaluation policy here, we have two types of evaluation policy, group-based and individual-based. So we have group assessment and we have individual assessment. For SDB1 here, 80% is group assessment and 20% is individual assessment. And most of your assessment during SDB1 was or carried out via group. So for that, maybe you, but we still have like 20% for individual assessment. So the first part is proposal presentation, as we mentioned, for 40% in group, and this usually we conduct in week 12. The second is your proposal report that you submit for your supervisor at the end of SDB1, usually in week 15, the last version. So it's 40% also. In addition, we have two more assessment, which is the logbook. This will be individual, 15%. And also the peer evaluation review. I mean, you are going to evaluate your group mates, and this also will be 5%. So the total 20 for individual and 80 for group assessment. This is for SDB1 assessment. Next, for SDB2, that the one that we are going to have during the coming semester here, for those who already completed SDB1, we have final report presentation. This same like proposal presentation last time, but this will be poster based and also in front of internal and industrial panels. And this is 35% as in group. The second is project technical report, will be 10% in group, and this will be by supervisor. So the rest will be all individual. General handling, 10%. Peer evaluation, 5%. Logbook, 10%. And at the end, your thesis, which is 30%. So as you can see here, you have more than 55%, which is individual for SDB2. So during SDB2, we have more marks to evaluate students individually, and some marks to evaluate their teamwork in group. What the expected achievement from our SDB project actually. So we have several expected achievement at the end of each year from SDB project. The first one is the product prototype. So I mean, since our senior design project, we said it's combined between capstone project and also thesis-based project. So one of the output of this project will be the product prototype. So each SDB group have to come out with a product prototype for their project. I mean, we don't encourage students to come out with some simulation model, for example. We prefer to have a prototype rather than have a software result and software modeling. Maybe you can combine both. You can have software modeling and prototype. It's okay. It's like add-on advantage. But if you have only software, so we do not encourage students to have only software result. You must have prototype for your system. So this prototype here, it will be like the first step to have some product which is made in UMB. I mean, because some of your project either related to some existing project, which is like product BDU or RDU or other commercialization product, or also some of the project, it will be idea to be proposed to get some grants. I mean, at the end, the product prototype is important to be one of your output for your SDB. The second one is the patent and copyrights. At the end of your SDB, some of supervisor will take your project and will participate in some exceptions. Then they are going to register if they got some, for example, gold medal and so on, so they can register this project as a copyright or as a patent. So I mean, don't say, oh, it's project, it's just project, I want to pass. It's not I want to pass. I mean, think about what after you pass SDB. Maybe you have some of the registered project under your name or your supervisor name here to be registered and to be protected under copyright or patent later on. Publish. So one of the expected achievement after you complete your SDB, you submitted your thesis and your technical result to be published. To be published means to become like the paper that you read at the beginning. When we said you have to conduct literature review, you have to go in detail literature review, you have to study others' work or other study, you have to compare other study. So at the end, after you finish your SDB, it's expected that your paper, your technical report or your thesis will be published similar to this work that you already take them as reference before. And in the future, people will take your work as a reference for them. I mean, the end of SDB, your thesis or technical report can be published as a journal article, can be published as a conference paper, can be published in a workshop, in a book, for example, a book chapter and so on. So this all is something which is good for you and good for your supervisor as well. Invention or innovation here, as we mentioned before when we talk about the patent and copyright, also many of students previously from SDB project, at the end of SDB, they take their project and they register or participate in some exhibitions, either internal exhibition in UMB like Citrix, for example, or they go, if they got some gold medal, they go for national exhibition like IX per chapter or MTE. If they got gold medal, they go for overseas exhibitions. Some students, they already go to Korea, some they went to Poland, and there are some of the achievement from senior design project. So and the students themselves, they went to present their project overseas also. Okay, so for participation in the exhibitions here for senior design project, also one of the expected outcome. So I mean, we are not looking for your thesis. We are not looking only for your to pass or to fail. Also, you should look like this one. And you passed for your project. Okay, you got A, then you got some gold medal. So it's like good for you as, I mean, for your future, also for future career and so on. The last one also, some of students who are motivated to complete their postgraduate study, they start from senior design project. So during SDB, they have some or they do some good project, and this project here can be expanded or they can add some contribution to this project and some improvement to this project. So later on, they can continue their master on the same topic. I mean, with some improvement or some enhancement. So, I mean, since our faculty is engineering technology faculty, so we encourage students to do some of the applied research work during their master. So, I mean, there are some students who do some development, I mean, who continue on SDB project that we already finished before. So they came to do master on the same project to continue their master degree and so on. So these are the five main things that we expect from either the supervisor expect when they propose idea for SDB, or the student should expect from at the end of their SDB2 project. This is some example or some sample of our achievement or of our outcome of our project. So for example, here we have some prototypes that I'm going to show prototype from different students or different group of students, how they come out at the end with some prototypes. So for that, I told you, we do not encourage students to have some software, because software is good actually for some fundamental research. But if we talk about applied research, we are looking for some real experiment. We are looking for some real prototyping and modeling and so on. So this is for smart parking system. This prototype for more smart irrigation system, and this actually under project in collaboration with industry for beneficiary for irrigation system. Also, this system or prototype for water quality monitoring using UAV. This some from the last semester, some from the last year. So this also smart street lighting system by using wireless. This is the smart irrigation system. As I told you, you should have, I mean, at least you have prototype or you have system that you develop and you implement it on a real, I mean, real machine, real vehicles, whatever. I mean, you may develop some prototype, or you come like in the form of prototyping or in the form of real system like that we are see here in the irrigation system. This for smart home system actually. Also for automation of smart home, they develop the prototype and they develop the controller as well. So this controller also is implemented, can be implemented in real environment. This for robot hand also developed by last year SDB students. This some of the publication that we achieve or we managed to publish from SDB student project, and the name of student also there listed in the paper. And some of students they use this paper to be to get more scholarship to do their master, and also some they use this publication to apply for a big company like in Intel and Amron and so on, and they got career there. So I mean there are some published here work or this from SDB project, either in some of ISI paper or Scopus paper, and also Scopus conferences. This is some sample of the expected outcome, and this actually comes from your technical report that you are going to write during SDB2. So your technical report, you will be converted into a manuscript that will be published either in journal article or conference paper as well. This some of the participation by SDB project for in national and some national exhibition here and competition. So this from my of student for SDB in hackathon organized by Ericsson here. This also my pitch by Dr. Rosha just last week. Participation for her project here. For also this one is SDB project. This also student from Dr. Rosha student before she participated in several exhibitions and secured some gold medals from SDB project. This my student last time participated during Citrix and also this during Citrix participation. I mean, it's not just finish SDB, that's all. Pass SDB, got A, okay, go home. No. Maybe you will be called later on to participate or to attend Citrix. Maybe you will be called to participate in some of the national or international exhibitions. There's also some of other activity related to SDB project, starting by, I mean, some collaboration with industry, some matching grants with industry, all based on senior design, start by senior design project idea. Some of the medals. This student participate in international exhibition, I think in Poland last time. And this also participation in some exhibition in Citrix. This from my previous group for SDB during 2020, during their final presentation. That means if no more COVID-19, inshallah, by the end of this year, so maybe you are going to present your project in this form. I mean, you will have like a poster, you have prototype, you are going to demonstrate it in front of panel. So to show, I mean, to get your assessment for the 35% mark based on the presentation and demonstration that you are going to conduct later on. It's also from GMI evaluation day for senior design project. This from Citrix last time, and here also from FTech presentation for final year student project. I mean, also we have during this presentation for the, I mean, the faculty, they will be presentation, they select which is the best project. I mean, some they got some, I mean, medals, some they got some honorarium or some prize for their for the best project. I mean, first project, second project, third project, and so on.